Oh, Kotaku. They just never learn, do they? So I'm going through Kotaku and Polygon, seeing if they have anything ridiculous to talk about. And I came across this. Stop calling games Metroidvania. they actually they actually have some stupid stuff in here right at the end, which we'll get to, which I found really humorous. You can see right there. Like, how does that even have anything to do with Metroidvania? Because Kotaku and Polygon, I'm convinced, really don't have any actual gamers that work there. I think they just look to drum up anger from people. I think that's their entire purpose. I don't think anybody in there has actually played a Metroidvania game as well. You can see here you have Symphony of the Night, classic game, probably one of the best Metroidvanias ever. But what would Kotaku know about that, since they don't really play games? Now, the gist of their argument is that it makes it hard for new gamers to come in. The new gamers, they won't know what Metroidvania is. Assuming that someone that's brand new to games is going to go grab Castlevania Symphony of the Night off a shelf or something. That's not going to happen. They're going to pick up something like Days Gone or Spider-Man PS4 for their first game. Okay, so introducing somebody to Metroidvania style games isn't going to be a big problem, because by the time they get to this game, they're already going to have some background in gaming. But here's the thing. So they say, well, you've got to explain the category to them. They can't sit down and just know what a Metroidvania game is. First-person shooters, they don't have that problem. It's a first-person shooter. And they say, what's the big deal? Well, what's your solution then? And they offer none, of course. There is no solution that is offered. They just say, we just need to change the game title. So the first argument they have is that the name is a disaster. The second argument, which is arguably the same as the first one, is that Metroidvania is at odds with the language we use to talk about video games, which is totally stupid. I think it's right dead on with the language we use to talk about video games, because talking about Metroidvania gets you to talk about good classic video games. And there's some truth to this, that it's not a perfect name. The point that they make that, a role-playing game brings together that genre, or first-person shooter brings together that genre, what you're getting into, is somewhat valid. But I would say, what are you going to replace Metroidvania with? There are no options given. It's a very different type of game style, and they don't bother to give you any kind of solution to that. So video game genres tend to be categories of interaction. They describe what you do in a video game at a glance. A first-person shooter puts a G in a character's hand and a camera where their eyes would be. A turn-based strategy game involves board game-style interactions in the service of a specific goal. Now, like I said, this is a fair point, but what's your solution to the new name? These aren't perfect terms. They're not as evocative as genre categories in, say, film, where terms like horror, romance, and comedy describe emotions and feelings that you might expect to experience as a viewer. But there's a logic to them, and they serve a purpose, establishing the ground rules of how you're going to interact with a game. And that way, video game genre terms are most similar to genres of music, which use a certain set of basic rules for works and categories, both broad and specific. So then, since movies and music have their own set of rules for how genre names are made, can't the same thing be said for video games? I mean, you're literally making that point here, and then I don't understand why a term like Metroidvania doesn't work for a video game, since video games have their own set of rules. This is stupid. It just shows these people, their points, they make no point. I used to write about video games at publications geared towards people who didn't necessarily play a lot of games. Well, then why are they reading? Why are you gearing if they're not playing games? Are you talking about, you're still actually working for a publication that writes articles not geared towards people that play video games. That's what you're doing right now. No one in Kotaku is actually a gamer. So I would argue that you're still writing for people that don't play games, and they're not going to come over to Kotaku for the latest in hacktivist journalism. So I've spent a lot of time thinking about words that we've become accustomed to, but are really just nonsense to anyone outside of this particular subculture. In real life, too, I've seen how quickly someone's eyes can glaze over when they're presented with something outside their comfort zone. Reducing those potential pain points in the way we talk about games can do a lot to help people join in on that conversation, especially if it's as painless as ditching a word like Metroidvania. I don't agree with that, because you could literally get them into Metroidvania games by getting them into the conversation. Like, what kind of person is just going to be sitting with a random group of nerds that are talking about Metroidvania games? I would say that they're probably going to know what that is. So, yeah. I'm sorry that the hot girl at the bar you're trying to talk to has no idea what Metroidvania means. You probably shouldn't be doing that anyway. Genre terms are more for our benefit than that of the art in question. It is a loose system that we have for talking about similar works and establishing canon, which is exactly why Metroidvania is a really good name, because it establishes a system of works and canon. An academic exercise more than an artistic one, those conversations are valuable and sometimes even vital works of scholarship, but they also tend to be exclusive, understandable only to those already steeped in the culture. What do you want? You're talking about a culture and a system of similar works with established canon is literally what you're saying here. And that's literally what Metroidvania is. I'm sorry that there's no strange inclusive word for everybody to get in, but you write this whole thing, and I've said this before again and again, you offer no solution to this. And I feel like before you write this article, you really need to sit down and come up with a solution to this game problem that you think is a big deal. So video games need to be easier to praise, not harder. We talk a lot about diversity and inclusion in games. Of course we had to put that in there. How we gamers could become a better, more welcoming space if we just figured out a way to represent more perspectives, both in the games we play and in the studios that make them. These are necessary, urgent steps, but I also wonder how many people have never bothered because we spent all this time using the wrong words. Probably not many. Probably people that wouldn't be interested in playing a game like this anyway. Now, I believe the people that you're trying to appeal to are the same people that are mad about a my girlfriend isn't hungry menu. I saw this and I thought it kind of went with the point. See, these people they went to some place called Mama D's in Little Rock, Arkansas, and their menu went viral because they have a $4.25 My Girlfriend Is Not Hungry special, giving you the option of adding extra fries, wings, or cheese sticks to your already existing meal. So like a lighter menu for someone that just wants to sit there and pick at something while you eat because you're hungry. These are the people that they want to appeal to. Let's get some more of these fellers into the gaming industry. Let's get some of these cats over there with playing the Sympathy of the Night so that they can come up with reasons to make it go viral for being bigoted. I can't stand these people. I really can't. Anyway, let me know what you thought about this. Did it drive you crazy? Is it making you go crazy? Make sure you're still subscribed. Make sure you hit that notification bell. Make sure you subscribe if you're new. Make sure you check out the links in the description. Got a link to my Twitch. Trying to build an audience over there. So come hang out while we play some games. And that's pretty much it. Throw a like up. Share the video, please, because YouTube's not doing it for us anymore. And that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.